When Earth rumbles, a look at natural disasters. The Earth beneath our feet seems solid, unchanging. But this is an illusion. Our planet is a dynamic system, capable of unleashing immense power in the blink of an eye. The recent earthquake is a stark reminder of this reality. It brought devastation, highlighting the urgent need to understand and prepare for natural disasters. Natural disasters are extreme events, exceeding normal environmental fluctuations. They are driven by forces within the Earth and its atmosphere. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, floods, hurricanes, and wildfires are just a few examples. While we often perceive them as isolated events, they are interconnected. They are influenced by complex geological and atmospheric processes. By unraveling the geography of natural disasters, we can better anticipate, prepare for, and mitigate their devastating impacts. This knowledge is crucial for protecting both human lives and the natural world we depend upon. Shifting plates and volcanic fury, the geology of disaster. Many natural disasters are rooted in the Earth's geology, particularly plate tectonics. The Earth's outer layer is not one solid piece. It is broken into massive plates that constantly move and interact. These interactions are the driving force behind earthquakes and volcanoes. Earthquakes occur at plate boundaries, where these massive chunks of Earth's crust collide, separate, or grind past each other. When this stored energy exceeds the strength of the rocks, it is released suddenly, causing the ground to shake violently. Understanding these geological processes is key to identifying areas most vulnerable to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. By mapping fault lines and monitoring volcanic activity, scientists can provide crucial information for hazard assessment and risk reduction. Living in the danger zones where disasters strike most. Certain geographical locations are more susceptible to specific types of natural disasters. These areas often coincide with active tectonic plate boundaries. For instance, the Circum-Pacific Belt, known as the Ring of Fire, is notorious for its frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Coastal regions, especially those near warm ocean waters, are particularly vulnerable to hurricanes and cyclones. Low-lying areas, such as river deltas and coastal plains, are prone to flooding. Understanding the geographical factors that influence disaster risk is crucial for land use planning, building codes, and disaster preparedness strategies. By recognizing the hazards associated with specific locations, we can make informed decisions to minimize risks and build more resilient communities. The Ring of Fire, a case study in disaster-prone geography. The Ring of Fire, a 40,000-kilometer, 25,000-mile horseshoe-shaped zone encircling the Pacific Ocean, stands as a stark example of a disaster-prone region. This zone is home to over 75% of the world's active and dormant volcanoes, and experiences approximately 90% of the world's earthquakes. The intense geological activity in this region is a direct result of plate tectonics. The Ring of Fire marks the boundaries of several major tectonic plates, including the Pacific Plate, North American Plate, Eurasian Plate, and Australian Plate. These plates are constantly moving, colliding, and grinding against each other, creating a volatile environment. The consequences of this geological unrest are evident in the frequent and powerful earthquakes and volcanic eruptions that have shaped the landscape and history of the Ring of Fire. Despite the inherent risks, the Ring of Fire is home to a large and growing human population. This highlights the critical need for effective disaster preparedness, early warning systems, and resilient infrastructure to minimize the human cost of living in this geologically active region. Section 5. Flooded homes, scorched earth, the environmental toll. Natural disasters leave a profound mark on the environment, often triggering a cascade of ecological consequences. Floods can inundate vast areas, drowning vegetation, displacing wildlife, and contaminating water sources with debris and pollutants. Wildfires, though a natural part of many ecosystems, can become increasingly frequent and severe due to human activities and climate change. These intense fires can decimate forests, releasing massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and destroying critical habitat for countless species. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions can trigger landslides, tsunamis, and alter the course of rivers. Volcanic eruptions release ash and gases into the atmosphere, affecting air quality, impacting weather patterns, and potentially contributing to climate change. These events can have long-lasting impacts on ecosystems, leading to shifts in species distribution, habitat loss, and reduced biodiversity. Understanding the environmental consequences of natural disasters is crucial for developing effective mitigation strategies, restoring damaged ecosystems, and promoting sustainable land management practices that enhance the resilience of natural environments. Section 6. Disrupted lives, shattered communities, the human cost of disaster. The human toll of natural disasters extends far beyond the immediate loss of life and injuries. The destruction of homes, infrastructure, and livelihoods can displace millions, creating humanitarian crises that require massive relief efforts and long-term recovery. Natural disasters can exacerbate existing social inequalities, disproportionately affecting vulnerable populations. Low-income communities, often residing in hazard-prone areas, may lack access to resources and support systems needed to prepare for and recover from disasters. Marginalized groups, including women, children, the elderly, and people with disabilities, may face additional challenges in accessing aid and rebuilding their lives. The psychological trauma inflicted by natural disasters can be profound and long-lasting. Addressing the human cost of natural disasters requires a multifaceted approach that prioritizes community resilience, social equity, and mental health support. Investing in disaster preparedness, early warning systems, and community-based disaster risk reduction programs is crucial for saving lives, reducing suffering, and fostering a culture of resilience. Section 7. Rebuilding from the rubble, responding to disaster's aftermath. In the immediate aftermath of a natural disaster, the focus shifts to search and rescue operations, providing medical assistance to the injured, and addressing the basic needs of survivors. Governments, aid organizations, and communities mobilize to provide shelter, food, water, and medical supplies to those affected. Once the immediate crisis subsides, the long and arduous process of recovery and reconstruction begins. This involves clearing debris, restoring essential infrastructure, and rebuilding homes, businesses, and communities. Rebuilding after a disaster presents an opportunity to build back better, incorporating disaster-resistant building codes and infrastructure, promoting sustainable land use practices, and strengthening community resilience. It is a chance to learn from past mistakes, adapt to changing environmental conditions, and create safer, more resilient communities. The recovery process can take years, even decades, and requires a sustained commitment from governments, communities, and individuals. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of collective action, and the enduring hope for a better future. Section 8. Early warning systems, giving time for preparation. One of the most effective ways to mitigate the devastating impacts of natural disasters is through robust early warning systems. These systems provide timely and accurate information about impending hazards, giving individuals and communities crucial time to prepare and evacuate if necessary. Early warning systems rely on a combination of monitoring networks, data analysis, communication technologies, and community-based preparedness programs. Seismographs detect earthquakes, satellites track hurricanes, and river gauges monitor water levels, providing valuable data that is analyzed to predict and warn of potential disasters. The effectiveness of early warning systems depends on clear communication channels that reach all segments of society. By providing timely and accurate information, these systems empower individuals and communities to take proactive steps to protect themselves and their property. Section 9. Building codes and disaster-resistant infrastructure, standing strong. Building codes and infrastructure design play a critical role in minimizing the impact of natural disasters. Structures built to withstand the forces of earthquakes, hurricanes, and floods can significantly reduce damage, protect lives, and speed up recovery efforts. Disaster-resistant building codes incorporate standards for structural integrity, material selection, and construction techniques. Investing in disaster-resistant infrastructure such as bridges, roads, hospitals, and power grids is essential for ensuring the continuity of essential services during and after a disaster. By adopting and enforcing strong building codes and investing in resilient infrastructure, communities can significantly reduce their vulnerability to natural disasters. These measures not only save lives but also minimize economic losses and disruption, contributing to a more resilient and sustainable future. Section 10. Sustainable land use and disaster risk reduction, living in harmony. Sustainable land use practices are essential for reducing the risk of natural disasters and mitigating their impacts. Deforestation, urbanization, and unsustainable agricultural practices can exacerbate flooding, landslides, and soil erosion, increasing vulnerability to natural hazards. Preserving natural ecosystems such as forests, wetlands, and coastal mangroves can act as natural buffers against natural disasters. Implementing sustainable land management practices such as terracing, contour farming, and reforestation can help prevent soil erosion, landslides, and reduce the impact of floods. Urban planning that incorporates green spaces, permeable surfaces, and flood control measures can mitigate urban flooding and enhance the resilience of cities. By recognizing the interconnectedness of human activities and the natural environment, we can create more sustainable and resilient communities that live in harmony with nature, reducing the risks and impacts of natural disasters. Section 11. Conclusion. Navigating a future with natural hazards. Natural disasters are an inevitable part of living on a dynamic planet. While we cannot prevent these events, we can strive to understand them, anticipate their impacts, and take proactive steps to mitigate their devastating consequences. Investing in early warning systems, disaster-resistant infrastructure, sustainable land use practices, and community-based disaster risk reduction programs is crucial for creating more resilient societies. Education and awareness raising are fundamental to fostering a culture of preparedness, empowering individuals and communities to take ownership of their safety and well-being. By embracing a proactive and adaptive approach, we can navigate a future with natural hazards, minimizing risks, building resilience, and creating a safer and more sustainable world for all. Please subscribe, like, and comment for more videos on understanding and navigating natural hazards.